And so we begin with the subpoena from the January 6th committee ordering Donald Trump to testify under oath and provide documents.
The former president's legal team reacting overnight to the historic move.
ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is on Capitol Hill with the latest on the potential legal battle brewing. Good morning, Mary Alice.
Eva, good morning. The January 6th committee voted unanimously last week to take this extraordinary step, and now they have done it. They wrote that the former president personally orchestrated and oversaw an entire effort to overturn the 2020 election, and now he needs to answer for that. This morning, former President Trump waking up under deadline, now formally subpoenaed by the January 6th Congressional Committee.
A subpoena to a former president is a serious and extraordinary action.
In the rare move, the committee demanding Trump turn over his text messages and call records from January 6th, as well as conversations with lawmakers about the election results and any communications relating to militias like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers who stormed the Capitol. The sweeping subpoena also calling for Trump to testify under oath by November 14th.
We are obligated to seek answers directly from the man who set this all in motion.
The co-chairs writing in their letter to the former president, "You were at the center of the first and only effort by a U.S. president to overturn an election and obstruct the peaceful transition of power, ultimately culminating in a bloody attack on our Capitol and on the Congress itself." The subpoena comes as the committee concludes 9 public hearings, carefully building a case alleging that Trump knew he lost the election and repeated lies about it anyway.
Said something to the effect of, "I don't want people to know we lost, Mark. This is embarrassing. Figure it out. We need to figure it out."
And claiming that on January 6th, as commander-in-chief, he took no action for hours to stop the attack as congressional leaders hid for their safety. Though many experts agree it's unlikely Trump will sit for questions, the subpoena potentially setting up a prolonged legal fight.
Assuming that he will fulfill his legal obligation and honor the subpoena, but if that doesn't happen, then we'll take the steps we need to take after that.
Trump's attorneys offering an initial response, saying they will respond as appropriate to this unprecedented action. And on the same day that Trump was subpoenaed, his longtime advisor, Steve Bannon, was sentenced to 4 months in prison for stonewalling Congress, something he says he will appeal. Whit.
Mary Alice Parks for us, thank you so much. Let's bring in our ABC News legal analyst, Kate Shaw. Kate, good morning to you. It's great to see you here in the studio on a Saturday. Let's start with the next steps for the former president. Given his legal options, how likely is it that we're actually going to see him testify?
Whit, I would say it is unlikely, but not impossible. So we all know that former President Trump loves an audience, right? And the January 6th committee has been, well rated. People have really tuned in. So I am sure he will be tempted to actually respond to the subpoena by agreeing to appear and testify publicly. But at the end of the day, I think the legal risk for him is just too great. So if he's listening to the advice of his lawyers, he won't at the end of the day agree to show up and testify. Testifying opens up the possibility of perjury charges, and he is already facing a number of serious criminal investigations, including the one growing out of the Mar-a-Lago classified documents. So I don't think at the end of the day it happens, but, he may keep us in suspense about it.
He likely will. But what actually happens to this subpoena if Republicans win the House in November?
So if Republicans win the House, of course, the turnover won't happen until January. So we still have that lame duck period of November and December. And it is possible that the House will vote to hold former President Trump in contempt of Congress if he does defy the subpoena and make a referral to the Department of Justice for prosecution. Of course, that's what we saw with Steve Bannon, who was sentenced just this week for defying a January 6th committee subpoena. And if, so then it's kind of in DOJ's hands if they're going to go forward with a prosecution. If the House after January tries to withdraw the subpoena, it's kind of anyone's guess, I think, what happens next. But I don't think turnover in the House necessarily means the end of the story of this subpoena.
So we've heard Donald Trump and his supporters ask why the Select Committee took so long to make this official request. Did this wait hurt or help the committee in the long run?
Look, I think if they were trying to get information and testimony from former President Trump, it would have been better to move faster. A couple of weeks before this important midterm election is probably too late to get the information that they are looking for. But I think they wanted to make sure that they had laid the groundwork and actually couldn't get the information they needed anywhere else. And now they really think they need to hear directly, or at least to try, kind of for the sake of history, to hear from the former president directly. So I think they think it is worth the effort, although they must know that the odds are pretty long of ever actually getting find that testimony in those documents.
Something definitely to watch, see how the process plays out.
That's right.
Kate Shaw for us. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.